Hey guys, I have a new YouTube tutorial for you for Halloween. I've already started working on it, as you can see. I guess it's kind of like a shredded face, like a bunch of cuts and stuff. It's actually what I did for my Halloween costume last year, but I'm just going to update it for this year. So let's get started. First thing I'm doing is I have a mixture of latex and water. I usually mix them together to make it really watered down when I'm doing stuff like this with the tissue paper. This part's still drying. I just poured it on a plate, and I'm taking my 1-ply pieces of tissue like I usually do, just dipping them in that, and then putting it on my face. I'm trying to make these are like where the cuts are going to be, going in the same like direction on my face. I'm going to make a smaller one here. And just pat it down. And any parts that don't stick, I'm just taking it on my finger and wetting those pieces down. I like to have it really wet when I'm doing this. I just go over it with a blow dryer anyways to make it dry faster, but I find it's more movable when it's really wet, so. I'm taking more little pieces. I'm just connecting those ends together, and I'm going to do one smaller one on this side of my face. Okay, now that I've done a bunch more of these little spot things on my face, I'm just doing the usual. I'm going to take my scalpel and pick at the insides, take it away from my skin, just a little bit, not too much. I left my lip, it ended at the top and reattached to the bottom, because if you have stuff like this really close to your mouth, it will like make it hard for you to speak, so I left it just open so that I can actually open up my mouth and talk. Another thing I did is I have one going around my eye, but I usually like to keep one eye without anything on it, especially for girls on Halloween, because then you have the option of doing whatever eye makeup you want. I usually do smoky eyes and stuff on Halloween. Especially, it works good if you have like a specific costume you want to wear and you want to match your eyeshadow to your costume too, so. I noticed my videos like the crazy face and all the ones that are like half face tutorials are really popular with girls, because they want to still have people be able to see that they look good on Halloween and not completely creepy, so. You can always go over your eye if you're not into that stuff. It's kind of getting really dry now. So once it's picked off enough away from my face, next thing I'm going to do is go around it with liquid foundation just to make it match my skin. Okay, now that that's all painted with foundation and almost dry, next thing I'm going to do is fill in all of these like spots with, I have a gel eyeliner that I don't really like, so I use it for my special effects, and I mix that on this brush with this dark red lipstick. The reason I use lipstick is because I like the shine that it gives to it, like almost like a fresh like cut, I guess, compared to my face paint. If you don't have a lipstick or you don't want to waste yours, you can use face paint and maybe add a bit of petroleum jelly or something to it after to give it a shine. So I'm just going to get a small amount of black on the brush because I don't want it to get too dark, and then mix it with this. And then paint all inside of these. Probably going to put a bit more black into it. And we're just going to finish painting all these, and then I'll show you what's next. Okay, now that that is all filled in with the mixture of lipstick and black gel liner, hopefully you guys can see the difference in color in it. Next thing I'm going to do is taking the same brush, just take the pure black gel liner and go around the edge of where I just put down all that lipstick, just to make the outside a bit darker. I find it makes it more like three-dimensional, I guess. Just a little bit. You don't want it to be like too noticeably black on the end. For my eyelid, just because I had makeup on before, I kind of wanted to keep my eyeliner, so I went over my lid just with a red eyeshadow just to stop it from creasing and ruining my liner. If you plan on doing anything to your eye that's covered for this look, you might want to do something like that. And it doesn't matter if it's sloppy because I'm going to be going over it with face paint anyways to do the stitching and stuff like that. So if you make a mistake, you can just cover it with the paint. For the inside, you don't want to really see the brush strokes, so I'm going in a bunch of different directions, making it really, I don't know, sloppy, I guess, on the inside. You don't really have to bother with the stuff on the small ones if you don't want to, just because you can't really tell the difference on those ones. Okay, that should be good enough. I'm not sure if my camera really picks up the difference, but I'll post pictures and stuff like always so you guys can really see the color. Next thing I'm going to do is take my rusty red eyeshadow that I use for like the outlines of wounds and stuff, and just go along the edges of this with a fluffy brush to make it look like it's sore. Okay, so here is the eyeshadow that I usually use. It can be matte or shimmer, doesn't really matter. I find shimmer works too for this type of stuff. And then there is my fluffy brush. Just blowing a bit off so it doesn't show up too dark, and then going along the outline very messily on here. And then I try and blend it out with my finger so it looks a little bit more natural. Okay, so I'm just going to finish the rest of my face off. Hopefully you guys get the idea of what to do. I just don't want this video to be super long because it takes me forever to upload them and I want to get as many done before Halloween as possible. Okay, I have put in my contact from camoeyes.com. I believe it is the Breaking Dawn one. You guys can see that. I think it's supposed to be vampire or something, obviously, but I probably will use it for a bunch of other stuff. So here's a close-up look at all the other stuff. Next thing I'm doing is taking this white face painting puck. This one is from Snazaroo, I think it's called. I got it at Michael's craft supply store. And I'm taking a wet brush and just using the white to go over the edges of this and make little stitches. I have to get it really wet so that it goes well on the paper towel. So just little shapes like that. Try and make it look like a staple type shape. And then I'll be going over the edges with black. So I'm just going to do them probably this far apart. I don't want to have to do too many. Oops, made a mistake, but it's really easy to wipe off while it's still wet. And I'm just really trying to get in the cracks of this so it looks like a solid line. And I'm just going to do it along the edges of all of these. Okay, now that there is those little white lines everywhere, just really simple, messy lines, next thing I'm going to do is just take my black face paint that I always use, and I'm going to be doing small little C shapes at the end of those lines just for the stitches. Just like that, if you can see it. Very simple to do, just makes it look a little bit more 3D. And then after that dries, just taking the same fluffy brush with the orange on it and just go over those little spots to make those look like they're sore and swollen too. Okay, so now that that's all done, the last thing to do is just fake blood. This is really cheap stuff that I use in almost every video. I'm just going to do little drips in the corner and try not to get it near where this is because the blood mixed with the face paint will make it run. Do it on the inside of the skin. Make a couple little drops. I'm running out of blood this year, so I've done some videos already. So I'll just keep my face up to let that drip down a little bit. One in the corner of here. Make a drip from my eye area. But it'll take a while, but that will eventually run down. And one right there. I also like to use the blood to camouflage like parts of the tissue that don't look good. There's a part down here that's kind of white. And that's pretty much it. I'll just leave the blood for a bit and move my head around to get the drops to start going. This one's pretty good. Yep, so hope you guys enjoyed this look. I'm going to be doing a giveaway soon for Camo Eyes contacts. You guys obviously know by now I use them in like every video that I have this year. I'm obsessed with them. And I got a pair from them. I believe it is White Demon contacts. There's a link to the website in the description, so check those out to see if you're interested in winning a free pair of those. I'm probably going to do a contest because I like to see people's pictures of what you guys are doing for Halloween, so I'm thinking something like zombie makeup look. Just submit your pictures and I'll pick the one that I like the best. So yeah, definitely stay tuned for that video.